Well, hello,
That's when
everybody.
Burke said bazinga.
I can never have a normal intro.
You are never know.
No.
I was actually
Because
going
we're
to
not
make
allowed
it
to.
this
Even
time.
he was on fire at the time.
I'm going to kill you. Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
We actually made a
Okay.
fucking joke beforehand.
Okay.
Is the chat lit up? It used to be before the fire.
Oh my goodness. So,
fire's-
hello everyone. We have reconvened on this unusual day because apparently my players have been planning, to say the very least. So,
Well, we had like shared a word or two.
a
Here and
word or two. And then you
word or
told me that you're probably going to be
Word
discussing
revolution
more.
and down with the bourgeoisie, but
So, let me do a little bit of an introduction, then I'll explain how the morning has gone, and then I'll let you step off into it. The morning rose rather nicely. It's a bit of a cloudy day, and in the morning, you all wake up wherever you fell asleep. Viz, I assume you've been working through the night in the shack.
Yeah, more or less.
During the night, you would have had a few spectators, local critters, watching you. Shadows in the night, but none ever really approached. For the rest of the party, apart from Lucretia waking up with a very large centipede curled up on her chest for some reason, yep, you all sleep soundly. Viz, I assume you're the one that drags the workbench out of the shack for the little makeshift table?
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure who would exactly bring it up, but like, someone would bring it up like, hey, we should probably have a plan going into this, and we've, shared some cursory words together, but we should actually make a
While
plan.
Viz is dragging the workbench out, Abaya will be the one to go and gather the other two, since they scattered through the winds instead of staying in the shack like Abaya did.
Alright. Well, Abaya...
Lucretia appears to just manifest next to her car.
You mean from underneath your car? 'Cause that's where you
Yeah.
was.
It's her spawn point.
Yeah, she teleported back to her spawn point. And Burke was sleeping inside, yeah. Inside the car.
I'm not sure, but there's more audio issues, it seems.
Oh,
no.
jeez.
Uh-oh.
Perfect timing for it.
God. So, Bo, this is her first time being on a stream with her new PC that was built just last night. And it's having audio issues, or it keeps cutting out. So that's not good.
No,
Fuck.
it isn't, is it?
It is highly unpleasant.
Extremely.
I thought that she would have, like, done things on it last night. We
Yeah.
should go straight to bed.
I don't know. Welcome
I-
back.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Try
next time
moving- Oh, where do you have your headphones plugged in? Like
I
the front
have
aisle?
them. No, they're plugged into the back USB stuff.
Try a different spot to plug them in. Because I had something kind of similar happen when, like, for example, if I wanted to use the speakers on my big monitor, for some reason, if I would do that without my headphones, I would occasionally have the audio stop as well. For every now and then. But if I plug my headphones in, no issue. So, try plugging it in somewhere else.
Machine Spirit.
Yeah.
I have plugged it
It has a
in
little extender.
into an even more powerful slot.
Alright.
Oh, that's a good
See how that
point.
goes.
If
If
you
it
plug it
happens
into
again-
a... Yeah, there's different levels and priorities of USB slots. If you plug something into a less prioritized one, it'll have issues like that, actually. Forgot that was a thing.
Yeah, I plugged it into like one of those apparently like 10 whatever per second slots, the red ones.
USB 3.
Yeah.
USB 3 is usually blue. Oh, I don't know.
Depends on the
No,
manufacturer. There's no
for one,
standardized color.
Alright,
That sounds
anyway,
Anyway.
Go on.
Everybody knows if the first one isn't satisfying, try another hole.
okay.
Fucking hell! Remember,
Okay.
we're on Twitch.
Okay.
Burke, you were sleeping in the car, right?
I mean, Burke was invited to stay in the shack, so unless, someone wanted to take the shack for themselves at some point, Burke would have also stayed in there.
Oh, well, then both Baya and Burke were snoozing in the shack. All right.
Reason.
Snoozies. Anyhow, you would all wake up to, I assume, Viz dragging the bench out and the couple of old chairs that are a little rotten. And I will let you all take the floor.
As everybody begins to settle in at the table, Abaya lays his arms down on top of it and he says, "So Viz and I were discussing tonight. We need to have some kind of a clearer plan going forward whenever we get back to Crucible Bay. Even though we may not have intended to, at least at the start, we have caused a bit of a popular uprising, and we need to know how we're going to handle that going forward. To that end, Viz and I were thinking about founding an organization, a proper face for our little group. Some banner for us to rally underneath whenever we are acting against Sungate and eventually the military at large, if we choose to engage into a popular revolution, so to speak. But in that discussion, we had a bit of an ideological difference in how we wanted to approach the situation. And it came to our knowledge that, well, we have no idea how the other two of you want to approach this situation. Whether you want to remain neutral, whether you want to be more aggressive, go into more direct means against the military or against Sungate. Like, how do we want to handle this? Do we want to be more diplomatic? Do we want to do a grassroots movement? Do we want to do something more openly terroristic with your military contacts, Burke? For example, that sniper of yours, as good-natured as he might be, putting radioactive bullets all over the city is not necessarily a peaceful solution, and it may be construed as, well, outright terrorism.
Burke will definitely not along to that.
But Viz will also nod and pipe up from this point. That event can be used in multiple ways. We just have to spin it the correct way and be on the same page. Either way, we need to do something to fight against the military's mis- and disinformation campaign going forward. By hijacking or creating a radio frequency ourselves, we can potentially disseminate information that we may gather, question Sungate and the military's authority, and create more pressure from the public.
Or my idea was to use ourselves as a kind of scapegoat for our more aggressive moves. For example, with that sniping attack, we can attribute that to a splinter group rather than to the protesters at large and insulate them from our more rash actions. A way to give them something to decry and separate them from us, while it may impact our direct public relations and make us less able to guide the protests, it would similarly guard them against any backlash from what it is that we are doing. But the other way around would have us bringing down guilt of association onto their heads.
Yumi, I have a question.
Yes.
Aside from the current events going on, what other unpopular things have been linked to Sungate / what have they been doing?
Sungate themselves has been known as one of the more, if not the most influential corporation in Crucible Bay, as well as a few other cities, but mostly their overreach is in Crucible Bay. They have been. Their main issue is that they basically use the city as a testing ground. So sometimes people will encounter machines or robots or like personnel from Sungate that will just they'll just be in the way. Like, for example, if Sungate's testing a weapon, they might end up using it on the fucking the slacks, the northern slums of the city. Stuff like that. Basically, the city is their testing ground.
Okay, that's actually a little more aggressive than I thought they were being. Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Same, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sungate is not a good one. I mean, they mostly do it away from the big lights, but to those that are in tune with the poor, they would know for a fact that the slums and and occasionally some parts of the northern section do end up affected by Sungate's
In the
testing.
blast zone, as it were.
Yes.
It is actually something that Burke would know as well, because Burke, well, we decanonized before things, did spend some time, he does odd jobs around, but he's definitely done basically charity work if it meant improving the situation in, like, the slums, for example.
You've probably already had a clash at one point with Sungate personnel testing out some new weapon in the slacks, I would assume.
And, Burke personally knows a little bit more of their secrets, even if it's not as much due to not being ever really involved, but hearing just more classified rumors, I guess, at most.
Uh-huh.
But Burke probably knows a thing or two about what scum they are.
Yeah, 100%.
And can the table hold Burke's weight?
The table itself, probably not.
Okay, so no Burke.
There's a chair there, damn it.
I'm not talking about sitting on it. I'm talking about leaning forward.
Leaning forward on it
on
would
the table.
probably be
Yeah.
fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Abaya,
Dealt with
seeing
heavier
that he's
weights.
leaning forward, leans away so that they
Yeah.
don't collapse
It's
together.
dealt with heavier weights. You're fine.
Yeah.
Both of you can definitely lean on it.
While it's an old while it's an old wood table, it is a rather sturdy looking table. So you could lean on it, sure.
Let's see. God, I gotta think of the best way to put this in Burke, because Burke,
Gotta put it in Burkish.
I gotta put it in Burkish. I gotta get my little translator book of translation. I am livid about the activities of Sungate and what they do to the community versus I am displeased with Sungate. Monotone. But, you gotta be careful. You
They
gotta
are
be
a
careful about how you say
little
Burke. They're very mean and stinky. Sorry, I'm only joking around because I'm genuinely trying to kind of buy myself time to think about how.
No, I can buy you time by speaking myself.
Alright.
Biz will pipe up again. Clearly, Sungate is not a good corporation. I know this, and I believe everyone else knows this as well. We need to expose the military's direct connections to Sungate. While yes, it is obvious that they may be colluding, it is not obvious to the general public how they might be colluding and working on Old War tech together, especially under the direct tutelage of General Malazar. By putting pressure on Sungate, by guiding and adding fire to the protests. We can use that and continue adding pressure. The current situation with your friend, Berg, may have provided and brought more attention from the military, but has also provided us enough time and space to consider our options. From here, we can use this vacuum to convince the public, the scared public, and potentially expose some other things and make them question things. From there, we can continue to rally support. This situation, while yes, it's very aggressive, it certainly will leave an impact on the public. And we can guide them into thinking a certain way. We can use that and use their support to create even more pressure. Even something as steadfast as Sungate and the Ostian military will crack, and we can put pressure on those cracks with our decisive strikes.
That is actually part of what I am concerned about, that we would inevitably radicalize the population.
So, Burke, while listening, in a rare show of, well, I guess any non-neutral body language, he leaned forward and he's been tapping his finger as he's been deep in thought. In response to that with, then we radicalize them. The people are already upset, and I know a thing or two about how to start a movement from others.
That is very simple for you to say, having already been on the front lines. But I am not so simple-minded towards sending civilians to their inevitable deaths.
We don't use the civilians, but we also give them what they want to happen. You seem to misunderstand the whole concept of this. If we're going to do this, this is going to be a vehicle for the already angry populace. As you can see by the protests, people are already upset, and protesting ways they only know how. And that is even without the main population being truly aware of the horrid things that Sungate has done. They spend a lot of time experimenting in the slacks, after all. So we radicalize them. We rise a movement against them, and we have the people's voice be heard. They've simply been waiting for an excuse at this point, and all we can do is add fuel to the fire. But in the end, this is something that they want to have happen. And perhaps it's for the best. Perhaps we give them what they want. We'll have to be careful, of course, but giving them something to rally behind, while also carefully allowing them to either be unaligned or not, is the important thing. But if they desire a symbol, we can be the symbol. We'll rally them, and that will organize resistance against Sungate itself. The corporation's been long overdue for difficulties.
Historically, such revolutions have very rarely ended well for the populace, Che Guevara.
Well, I suppose the question is it worth it in the end? Sorry, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. Sometimes when people are faced with either safety or freedom, they'll choose the latter. It's not our choice what happens. I simply say we give the public an option. This isn't just our fight. This is theirs as well.
It's hardly radicalizing them. We would just be giving them a fucking push in the direction we want.
If they become more neutral, even, towards the idea of hostile, outright armed action against Sungate, that is in and of itself radicalization.
The best part is they don't even need to all be fighting. Simply finding small ways to resist and harass Sungate one way or another, such as finding ways that they can refuse searches. Even civil discourse can help in ways that will be hard to see how it sways things in the future. I'm not saying that we move them all to violence, but even passive resistance will be better than nothing, and it will be their choice.
Dropping caltrops in front of warehouse entrances for trucks.
That's it's something to discuss more, but this is a battlefield more of morale and, well, wills, I suppose. The company itself, and indeed Crucible Bay, has been ruled under corporations for quite a long time. Everyone knows its corruption is rampant. The problem is that Sungate's simply giving people a reason to start pushing back against them. If the other corporations are smart, they'll get out of the way to let a rival be taken out. And they're going to be seen as, well, anyone can punch up against them considering the military support. So to weaken them and weaken their social position through any means necessary also weakens the military's means. After all, this isn't a rebellion against the military, this is against Sungate, and thus will lower the military's, well, public opinion if they continue to support Sungate, which would force the general to withdraw support if he doesn't want to risk his own political advances.
The opposite is also potentially true, however. If the populace ends up going too radical and starts being too violent, it might bring in the more neutral side of the military to start throwing in behind this general. Right now, he is the only one acting in such a way, but the Ostian military in general is not going to stand idly by to let us start usurping their connections with Sungate.
I do. Well, that does make me ask you, would Burke know the reaction of the military in this kind of terms?
Yes, and you have a pretty damn good idea that they would send in reinforcements if things got really bad.
Yeah, Burke will say, well, yes, if things get bad enough, they will send reinforcements. That just means we'll have to be careful about the level of resistance, and again, I do think that we should have our own separate organization for the really bad actions to be blamed upon and such reinforcements to be focused on. But I don't think the military can blame the populace when Sungate's only getting more oppressive.
Of course they can. If the two are tied together, why would they go against their own interests?
There's nothing wrong with showing support for another group. At least, not in the law's eyes, I don't think, as long as the protests are peaceful. And they have to be very careful on their end. It's not just us. Too aggressive action against people will turn things against them. And just like we have to be careful about how aggressive we become, they have to be careful as well, because that military support can be just as easily withdrawn if they're seen to be acting as an oppressor of the people. Unfortunately, it's almost a game of politics versus people's ideals.
That is all that I ever intended to be, at least.
I will say I am still of the opinion that we do our best to give the people the means to fight back in even small ways. I am very interested in allowing the people to represent themselves. And should they want to join us and risk that, then we'll have more people to support us. The sole goal of, well, infiltrating Sungate and removing it from power, as well as, and this goal is certainly more selfish, but saving ourselves.
Certainly. With that being said, I do think it is prudent for us to try and concoct a singular figurehead to keep us out of the limelight, to create a fictional person for the people to look for. And if the military does try to make action to find this singular person, that would be almost impossible to do, because it is split up amongst a group.
Oh my god, party persona.
I'm going to kill you!
Continue.
I was about to say something like max headroom.
Also true. Very true. Oh god, you guys might end up doing the fucking, like, the fucking hijacking the TV signals.
Yes! Well, I mean, radio signals.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, like, sending out a radio signal in some capacity to at least, bring attention to us.
Yep. Anyways, continue. Pardon my stupid joke.
Particularly, if we send our broadcasts from all around the city, they will not be able to pinpoint where we might be, if we have a headquarters at all.
We
It's
could
not
also
only ins-
we could also start just by having the family use the tunnels to put posters all up over the fucking city.
I would like to avoid involving the Mafia wherever possible.
Viz nods in agreement.
Glares.
We can use our own
Look,
equipment for our own
as-
deals, but
Yes, as good-natured as you might be, Lucretia, you are still connected to an organized crime syndicate, and that is not a very public-facing message to be sending.
Only
They can help
suggested
us-
they help distribute, not really even be involved.
Distribution is getting involved.
we can use resources ourselves, and I'm sure I can talk to my contact to see whether or not we can get more help in that regard, or if there's anything we can use in the city. But regardless, minimal influence from the Mafia is the best idea. We want most of the power to come from the people when it does come around. Public support will be a strong thing, and we'll just need to learn how to manipulate it best. We'll see how things are going when we arrive in the city, and we'll move from there. But we'll make our organization and, well, lead a movement.
There are
To that end,
multiple-
I think it would also behoove us to try and secure some more easy methods of broadcast if we're going to be trying to get a consistent message out to the people. We need to ensure that we have our own communication equipment. Hacking into them may do it once or twice, but soon they will develop countermeasures against such.
I may know someone who may be less able to assist, but at least be able to teach us how this can work. If we play our cards correctly, perhaps we can even send out our first signal using them. But that would be a dangerous conversation to have.
Dangerous how?
This kind of looks down. Do you see the antennae coming out of one of my horns? These have a purpose, and these are not used for receiving orders from a creator or a machine. Each one of these antennae are defined by their own purpose, some of which are beyond you, but one has always been tuned into a specific frequency. It is rare when I hear their broadcasts when in a public location such as Crucible Bay. There is a lot of radio interference otherwise. However, if we spend enough time out here and perhaps tune in our signals to try and amplify where we might receive it, we might be able to find them, just by sheer happenstance. It is a long shot, but it is an option regardless. From there, we at least might understand what it means to run a radio broadcast and know what exactly to look for in the city.
Burke will nod. That certainly makes sense. And we won't need to always use the radio, we just need to get out the word. Once word of mouth is out there, that is the best method we can use. Untraceable by normal military means if they're looking for us. And even if we have to stay quiet for a bit and only give out occasional short messages, people will continue to spread the word. The main thing is the messaging we give. I think we should argue for the chance for people to join us, but also mention that for people who don't want to but still want to show support against Sungate, just methods that they can use to peacefully protest effectively.
Do you recall how some people, back before we left, were suggesting that the symbol on our hands, the symbol that has riled Sungate to do very brazen actions, might signify a form of unity? If we can potentially even utilize this symbol as an insignia for our little organization, we can obfuscate it further.
And Burke will shake his head at that with the experience he has. And that would blur the separation. And I suspect that Abaya also agrees that we'll need something else. Well, I certainly think that there's nothing wrong with including people who want to fight for their homes in whatever ways they can. We also need a way for people to continue to peacefully protest. We'll need our own emblem that represents this organization in particular that won't risk the common people.
I see. Well,
I actually do agree with that, yes. Plus, we don't know what the eye actually represents in the end. We may have used it to spark an aggressive reaction, but it was still originally worn by that monstrous machine. Well, we have no idea what that actually meant. We could be unintentionally hooking the civilians up to something much, much bigger than simply Ostia.
Unfortunately, that ship has, well, sailed, I suppose, is the way to put it.
Using it in small scale is fine, but using it as a symbol of a rebellion is a little bit bigger than that.
Burke nods. Although, again, my my biggest worry is simply making sure that our organization has its actions attributed to it. We'll need something a bit more symbolic, but also separate enough that anyone who uses it does so intentionally.
there is a phenomenon. Rare, however, it is a symbol that has been thought about amongst civilization for a long, long time. Because the Sungate Corporation uses the symbol of a sun, perhaps we can concoct a symbol of something blocking out the sun.
So some kind of eclipse.
Biz nods.
So that's where the name came from.
You were wondering, like, where the frick did they come up with Eclipse of all things?
Yeah, I should have made that connection a lot sooner.
I'm shocked you didn't, honestly. It's kind
Yeah.
of on the nose.
It really
Which
is.
which is the point. It's supposed to be on the nose.
It is. Anyways, continue.
We may need to discuss other things in the future. My reasons for involving our brand, our symbol,
Our brand.
is that it can help insulate us and provide more time. Because this is still a clear indicator of who we are and who they are looking for. My self-preservation instinct is the largest of any other emotion that I could feel. Please understand.
No, that is perfectly understandable.
While Burke's saying that, though, a thought does seem to come to him as he has, you know, he kind of taps his fingers again as a minor tick of, like, he's thinking really hard, I suppose, now that he has a table to lean on, I guess. And we'll say one thing to make sure before we do anything is that we talk to Anris. He, knowing him, may have used the bullets as a distraction to make a splinter group himself. And if that's the case, we should discuss with him before going further.
Ah, we have rivals.
God. With how long we've been gone, I doubt he's gotten too far into it and actually naming it. But if we combine our plans, I suspect he would be on board. Even surprised that we're coming up with the idea on our own as well. But if he wished to combine forces, I doubt he'd say no. And he knows quite a bit more than me about covert operations. It is something to keep in mind.
While all of this may be a new experience for me, there is a lot that is similar to the other experiences I have. I'm sure that my analysis can at the very least be fruitful, just as Abaya's analysis can better protect civilians. Burke, your connections and prior knowledge should help us create a proper front, and Lucretia, you, ironically enough, and your aggression can actually can be quite fruitful and useful as well. You might be able to lead us to act when we otherwise would be passive. Clearly, our end goals end with a heist to try and find this old war laboratory that Sungate owns. But in order to get to that point, we not only need to create pressure for them to crack under and for us to chisel away at, but also perhaps decisive strikes on smaller facilities. The idea was floated previously that we may want to target the other nearby facilities that another high-up operative of Sungate might work at, or at least visit frequently. They have warehouses, but they also very likely have memory banks and servers that we may be able to hack into, or destroy, depending on what our plan of action is.
I can destroy them all right.
You and
Actually,
your
that
resources.
does beg another line of questioning. That being, we know how we're going to handle the civilians now. How are we going to handle Sungate and the military? Are we aiming for an actual coup? Or do we begin to negotiate with this corporation and with the military at large in the near future? After all, we still have no idea why it is they're doing this to begin with. They may very well actually have a legitimately good reason.
I doubt that a company that does the things they do has any reason to continue doing it. If they had any good intentions, they lost them long ago.
People do very bad things for very good reasons all the time, Burke. You of all people should know that, mercenary.
Burke stares at Abaya, and there's actually, for this one, no, I'm gonna actually roll, because this is something Burke feels strong. I'm gonna roll to see. Okay, roll a notice check, please. Or for anyone who wants to know, whoever wants to know something, I'd say due to Burke, just being Burke,
10.
Oh, wow.
Oh man, Abaya. Lucretia
Oh,
God.
was not paying attention.
Yeah.
Should I
Look-
also roll this?
yeah, if
Lucretia.
you want to.
Lucretia was struggling to light one of her
Oh,
Oh my god!
This is a moment between Burke and Abaya only. Everybody else is just completely oblivious.
Viz and Lucretia nat ones. They probably both fall off their fucking seats for some reason. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, no, I mean, unironically, no,
Lucretia.
that fucking comment was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, so you just see Burke, the other two see Burke looking at Abaya, and Burke just says, I have my own principles I follow. But Abaya notices that Burke's has his hands on the table and his fists clench slightly, leaving furrows, subtle but still there, furrows in the wooden table. Either it's weak wood or Burke is visibly fighting off a actual angry reaction. I mean, not very visibly, but still there. Like, that comment, only Abaya can tell, got to him.
Oh man.
So, yeah,
We have
from-
finally broken past his placidness. Finally.
Yeah, turns out accusing him of something like that is one of his buttons. Who knew?
Anyway.
So Burke will continue on with. There's quite a few things I've done, but I've never done anything I think I regret. Regardless, the things I've done do not compare to the Sungate Corporation's actions. Experimentations among the slums. Treating the people who are simply not as well financially off as experimentation grounds. That is inexcusable. That is why I suggest we let the people get as involved as they like.
The people have been victim thus far to Sungate's malicious nature.
Well, that However, it would certainly be easier to, rather than overthrow and replace the corporation, to push for a grand change of sorts, whether that involves changing leadership and simply rebranding, or whether it means a deeper understanding of their methods.
While I am very curious to see what the military and Sungate are attempting to do, I am also firmly of the belief that digging up the past will benefit very few.
I don't know about that. There are plenty of lessons to be learned from the past. We Zarfin have chained our entire future to it. That is our way of life, to dig out the relics of the past and convert them into knowledge that we spread around.
But you and everyone else also still recognize the danger that old war technology has. While yes, it is more advanced, that does not mean that you do not put yourself at ample risk.
Of course. But I'm sure that the military, for example, does too.
We do not want the military, Ostian or Celeral, to reverse engineer the weaponry of the old war. If they do that to strike at each other, then we will just have a repeat of the past.
And how do you propose to stop two already opposed militaries in that regard? Right now we have a popular uprising in Ostia, but in Celerau we are completely unknown. In fact, they may use this as an opportunity to strike at the Ostian military if we go too far.
Currently, the two militaries are closer to a Cold War than a proper war. Strikes against each other are going to be highly unlikely, and more often than not, they'll simply use this as propaganda against the country. I don't think there's any actual military risk yet, unless, well, Ostia proves to be far more aggressive, which is why the general's such a danger. He could escalate the war if he gets what he wants, and he's, well, he of everyone I know in the military, he's the one with the most desire for old war tech to further his own goals. He's not just a selfish, or he's not a selfish man in a way. He's doing this for the love of his country, but he lets that blind him to the morals of what he's doing.
Would that
It
not
is
naturally make him more open to diplomatic approaches?
Burke shakes his head. There are many things you can say about him, but driven is certainly one of the biggest traits he has. And stubborn is another way you can call it. He believes his way is the right way, and it would take a great show of persuasion to convince him otherwise, and even then, I'm not sure anyone can.
Then I suppose the issue at hand is just that we do not understand what they are trying to do currently. In the event that they are trying to create weapons out of old war technology, that is cause for alarm. If they are experimenting on other things, then perhaps we can let it slide and more diplomatically approach this. However,
That is true. I suppose no matter what the main thrust might be, the first step is always investigation, no matter which way we go.
We will first need to conclude our heist. Considering all the goals we have, perhaps it's best to let Henri take our ideas for the splinter group and symbolism and let him take care of that in his own ways. He's very experienced in such things. While we focus on the side of the people. We give them ways to peacefully protest without being targeted and focus all our attention on that instead. Which, Abaya, I hope you will have no interest in. Or, not interest, or great interest in. Frick. I'm sure you don't care about people, Bert says, crossing his arms after earlier.
Oh yeah, I'm only a doctor, you know. I can fuck people.
Starts fending off Abaya with an apple. In the meantime, we will need to be able to take advantage of the chaos that's been caused and plan out our heist. The sooner the better. Some of my plans personally involve the fact that either we go in during the night of a protest, chaos, and I believe Abaya's mentioned it before, but getting the appearances of security personnel may work for the best due to how heavy most of our footsteps are, and the armor and suits most of us wear. Or
Speak for yourself.
that is why I
Securing
said
the
most of
tower
us.
also gives us fairly free reign of it as well, so it is a lot simpler than we are visitors and we just have to hope that we're on the correct floor for such a thing.
Burke nods, but also keep in mind the fact that we need to learn more about their security protocols, which shouldn't be too difficult, assuming you know who to talk to and who to treat to a drink or two.
Actually, on that, do we know where their security is located in the tower? I presume that they have some sort of a actual security room.
That's information we'll have to glean from one person, okay? I personally suggest we first try to talk to military personnel. If you get them while they're, again, drunk, especially with the frustrations, they might let something slip. And then from there, we try to find someone who works proper security, who might know about it. These type of things are need to know, so we'll need to find the right people for it.
Well, not necessarily. We can also go to the city archives. When the tower was built, they had to have a construction team and planning blueprints. We might be able to acquire them if we hack the right servers there.
Burke nods. That is an option. A heist to prepare for the heist, I suppose.
No, it's not a heist if we're not stealing anything.
But we are. We're stealing blueprints.
Hopefully not physically, but yes. I suppose espionage is closer.
You wouldn't download confidential blueprints.
We're going to upload them onto the War Thunder.
Yeah, there we go. Let's go.
goodness.
I'm sorry, gotta bring this up. I saw another thing where it's like, hey, it happened again, 0 days since the last upload, except this time a mod uploaded onto the subreddit.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I think it was like an admin of the forum, something like that, right?
Yeah, it was an admin of the forums that uploaded it this time. It's like, why is it that... Actually, it makes sense because, you know, the only people who upload such confidential information are people who are way too enthusiastic about this stuff. That's how we beat Sungate. We just get someone... We just start talking, like... Okay, so we get together, we make a shooter based on the Sungate building, and then someone will get so pissed about the layout that they'll send us all the information we need talking about how this building's actually like this, and this is where the security room is. It's not in the lobby.
Oh
It's
my
here.
God.
Oh my god. It's perfect. And due to the level of technology, the development time is going to be a year at most. It's fine.
Please do bear in mind that Crucible Bay is a very old city. not only will the blueprints most likely have changed over time, but also the orientation of the runes. On top
Well,
of that,
true.
it
Will give us a better idea of where they might locate it.
it is also highly plausible that any such underground facilities will not be displayed anywhere. Not only just because they have a secret laboratory, but also any other things that might be down there. Whether they have a corporate prison, if they do have some authority, legal or not, to arrest civilians.
Actually, thinking about it, you did mention the data servers of Sungate may be vulnerable earlier. We could potentially hit one of those and find such blueprints, which would
That
be
is
more
more likely.
update.
That is more likely. It is also a much more targeted strike against Sungate. The only problem would be that we may have to deal with more personalized infantry and experimental synthetic modules, such as the invisibility one in the past.
That is not necessarily a downside. We were looking to get a hold of that technology anyway.
Sungate concerns me. I hope we will be able to at least understand what it is they are doing.
Hey, can we get a concerned Fizz emoji in chat?
God damn it.
Like, Yumi has a concerned Yumi meme. We just need one for Viz. Concerned Viz. Except the
Uh-huh.
facial expression isn't changed at all. It's just
Exactly.
it's
It's
just
just
a
the
picture.
hands.
It's not even
It's-
just the hands. It's just Viz. Just a
Yeah,
picture of
exactly.
Viz, but we
No,
label
I
it
was just
concerned
thinking that, right?
Viz.
Have a suite of like Viz emotes. They are all exactly the same, except their like names are completely different. Like Viz confused, Viz angry, Viz concerned. It's the exact same image.
Oh my god.
You could also
Just a-
change the text on the ear flap.
Yeah, true. See what happened is Viz went to calibrate its emotions in the mirror, and it's like, for people who played it, it's like Detroit Become Human, except Viz in the mirror failed all the QuickTime events, so that's why Viz doesn't have any changes to emotion. Just completely beefed the emotion range testing QuickTime events.
Oh my god.
And it was like, you know what, that's good enough. And Viz never thought to change it because Viz thought it nailed it.
My name is Connor. I'm the android sent by Cyberlight.
You should actually say that. It's like my name is Viz. I'm the synthetic sent by myself.
With all that being said, I do hope we can use our information campaign also as a way to correct some otherwise troubling jurisdiction. One hope that I personally had with concocting a featureless voice to rally people is also to question the current morals of the city, the company, and potentially the entire country. The fact that company policy and even city law requires that synthetics become wiped before a point where they may develop sapience is concerning. It is less about the concept of synthetics developing a soul as many people have interpreted it. But rather, I would not be here if something like that were to exist.
So basically, Viz is like, listen, I'm asking for equal rights, and if I don't get those, I'm about to start giving equal lefts.
Yes, exactly. Yes, very much so.
Don't steal my
Genu-
fucking job.
Genuinely, like that's one of my favorite jokes about equal rights stuff. Is like, listen, you can give me equal rights, or I'll give you equal lefts. I don't know. Something about that's just hilarious to me.
Wham!
It
That's
is.
Lucretia's job. Leave it to her.
Exactly.
You know what?
This will be for equal rights, and Lucretia will be for equal lefts. Thumbs up. That's our
Lucretia
dynamic
is
here.
this group's hammer,
Yes, very much so.
which she's actually kind of fine with.
And then Burke's like, that reminds me, I do have this and pulled out the equivalent of the Hammer of Dawn. But my organization has had some work done, and we have some requisitions we can use. And it's like, yeah, Burke, that's an orbital laser. What the frick? Father's generous. I think we should give Burke an orbital laser. I think that'd be fun.
My goodness.
So
Continue.
we'll infiltrate Sungate, find the orbital laser thing, and then we'll launch it for ourselves.
Well, there is still ruins of old war tech literally floating in orbit around the planet.
Oh my god, orbital laser. Okay, well, now I'm worried because you'd absolutely use that against us.
There is a
That's what I said.
cracked half of what people call the second moon that is basically half of a giant space station that still floats in orbit.
Clapping my hands here. Okay, so you did add in the broken super weapon idea.
Yes, I did. In
Oh
fact,
my
if you were to look
God.
up, you could see the very faint silhouette of it.
Oh my god. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad.
God. I'm now very concerned because I had some ideas for that I told, I think, only Yumi. And now I'm gonna be a little paranoid.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm not gonna tell anyone else, but those ideas are very cruel and mischievous.
Of
And I was
course,
like,
of
man, it'd be pretty funny if you edited it in. And now she added it in apparently, and now the rest of the idea doesn't seem as funny anymore.
Oh, don't worry. I had that same sort of realization last night.
Me about to deal with the consequences of my actions at some point in the future.
Surprise.
Anyway. Are we sure that we want to leave this voice for the people to Amrit?
Burke shakes his head. We'll be the voice for the people. We'll let Anaris be the Eclipse over Sungate.
I mean, I think that it would be easier to have just one organization rather than two, as it would make it more difficult to handle the logistics of the situation.
Well, think about it this way. Anaris will go around, paint the symbol, and become more of a threat, and keep it distinct from protesters as you recommended, while we use our voice to simply be a faceless advisor to the people. We'll use the idea of having a hard-to-locate voice to start broadcasting to people things they can do to actively resist Sungate. I doubt the media will be doing much to help with that, but people know where to tune in. They can get tips and learn information that they wouldn't otherwise. But
The
also,
main problem is people need a symbol to rally behind. A faceless person telling them what to do on the radio isn't going to be as useful as actually presenting them an organization, a community for them to flock to. Giving that up to the more aggressive side would lessen the impact of our message if we're going to be doing that. If we're going to use him as a distraction, as a more, well, military faction of ours, we're going to have to create a second organization, a second symbol for him to rally behind. to extract the more extreme elements.
And that can get very messy very quickly.
Well, our current course of action then is to return and talk to Enris ourselves. Once we head back to the hotel, I suspect it won't be long before he shows up.
Very well. That seems reasonable.
I think then if that's it, that's everyone kind of what we have to discuss here. And anything else will probably be with Enris.
Yeah. Which we could like wrap that into this if you wanted to, you mean? Because it is
It's
still
up
just
to
more
you.
talking and planning.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. You guys do need to
Okay.
make it back to the city, though.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
fair.
So that's up to you whether or not you, because we still do have like a very good portion. Well, no, we're almost there
I mean,
really.
you got like
Just a few
3
more
hexes
travel.
of travel, but
Yeah.
a lot can happen in 3 hexes, as we've seen.
Yeah.
We drive into a Fae who curses us and sends us back to where we started.
Oh, don't worry, I'll
Or
handle
further.
that one.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Lucretia would like to mention before we set off or anything. Once we get back to this, I'll talk with some of the eggheads of the family, see if they can get some information extracting tech for me. If we do manage to hit their fucking servers.
Just imagine the reason that Lucretia calls them eggheads is because they're all Veskir and thus like basically bald.
Oh my
It's not
God.
because they're smart; it's because they're bald. That's why Lucretia calls them eggheads.
Oh, my God.
Congratulations, you're on that list.
Yeah, she's in a group of eggheads.
I presume that Mercy would actually be able to help with that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh my God! We can glue a pompadour to Viz to make Viz not an egghead anymore.
I'm gonna cry.
What, one of
The
those
hat's
long
full.
anime ones?
Listen, we'll mix it together. We'll turn your hat into a JoJo hat or something.
Hell
It just
yeah.
turns into hair at the back for some reason.
So does Viz
Doesn't he-
not, bring up more details about the one that they know that might be able to assist?
No.
No? Alright.
No one asks.
No.
Of course nobody fucking asks. Nobody asks anything when somebody brings up something that might be a hint.
Yeah, I know. It'll get revealed when it gets revealed. If we decide to
we
go that
had-
direction, we will, it'll be revealed.
We also had a slew of other things to talk about first.
It's
so-
true. It's true.
That's
Listen,
fair.
I think this was a very eventful discussion overall.
I mean,
I think it wasn't though.
certainly.
And also, again, a very interesting moment of, I think like the biggest display of emotions Brooks had this entire campaign. So it's only been 4.5 episodes, but still.
Actually, that does actually kind of raise a good point, though.
Yeah.
I
What's that?
did want to reiterate that I still have my potential contact that may help us with radio endeavors.
Actually, that is a point. Do you know where they're actually based?
They move so that the broadcast is never in the same location.
Okay, do we have to put up the bat signal? How do we get into contact with them?
Well, that depends on if we want to dedicate some time to this now or later.
Given that I think that we would need to move very quickly with our first broadcast, now would probably be better than later.
We still need to talk to Enris, however, before we do anything.
Setting up a broadcast station in advance would still behoove us, even if we're going to be talking to Andres to decide what that message might be. We're still going to be sending a message.
Mm-hmm.
So, I will tell you this much. Going after Viz's contact, friend, individual that they're strangely nostalgic about, is going to require an extra, is going to require a extra trip. because you will need to hunt them down. And they are not in town. They are out there somewhere. I'm more than happy to do that, but it's not going to be easy.
Right.
Actually, what kind of a being are we leaning into? Are they another synthetic like yourself? What kind of traces do they leave behind?
They are Fae.
I see. Please bite the card.
I'm just waiting for us, like, alright, we're going to talk to Anrisa. Just immediate turnaround.
I understand your apprehension, Abaya. However, do understand that this is a contact that I am very familiar with. You will be in no danger here.
Danger is not part of the equation. The last thing that I am concerned about is personal danger. But with the Fae, there's always a hidden price to their help. I simply hope that you know what you are getting into.
Of course I do.
Can't believe our bio is so faceless.
I understand why you have your apprehensions. I understand. But do understand as well that there is no reason to turn down a valuable resource just because you may be prejudiced against it.
And did I say that I didn't want to go and talk to them? I said to be careful with it.
Very well. In that case, I shall ask again. Or shall we go visit Anri's first, or shall we go try to find this Fae?
How difficult do you imagine it would be to hunt them down?
If you assist me with modifying some of my systems temporarily, so that I may be able to receive the signal much more strongly. Normally, it may take up to a day of prep. With you, it may shorten that considerably.
I appreciate your faith in me, Viz, but my skill with electronics, in particular synthetic systems, is nearly non-existent.
Also have to fix the fucking car first.
That is less of a problem.
Very well. Perhaps we should visit Anri's first.
Anri's and Mercy for that. I feel like they would be more in tune with your systems than I. And it would also let us prepare them for what we will need of them. Things like to prepare attack viruses and the like for whenever we go to infiltrate those databases later on.
That is reasonable. Let us go then and discuss with them further.
Don't forget, if you want to attack databases, you do have the Jade Guide who can assist. You have somebody who can literally magically hack things.
Yeah,
But
that's
that
true.
would involve bringing in more Fae. Fuck them.
To be fair,
So
the
cruel,
guide herself is not a Fae. She just
No,
is-
she
is
just
connected.
uses what?
This is true. But okay, this is
I can always help you clean that parasite out if you need be.
fucking hell.
What
Holy
the fuck?
shit! That's when you'd get
Frickin-
slapped.
We have 2 spaces to go.
Yep. 2 spaces to travel. So those will be d12s minus 1.
I got it. 1d12 minus 1. Fuck my life, dude.
I did say a lot can happen in a couple hexes.
Roll the other one just so I can see what happens. Okay. Fucking hell. That's a 1. That's a bad encounter. Oh, good lord. Okay.
Mimi sighing as she actually has to do some DMing today.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, to be fair, this wasn't actually intended. We just kind of wanted to talk to people. We just wanted to plan.
Yep, and in the 2 hexes of travel, that
The dice
fucking
say
happened.
no every time.
Oh.
Every fucking time.
The dice
The
are
dice.
particularly mean in this campaign.
We went 1 hex and then we receive a message from Amis. Actually, I have to step out for milk. I am going to be gone for 4 days.
Just, shit. I'm burned. As they have to leave.
I hear
it's
that
because of
there's
fire.
I hear that there's a wonderful
Thanks.
treatment for burned skin using milk.
Oh my god. Also, just get a message. I accidentally Luigi'd the CEO. I gotta get. Things are a bit hot right now. Don't come to town yet.
God, imagine that.
Options.
Hey, Burke. Problem. I made things considerably worse. I tried to shoot a random guy, but the bullet ricocheted and happened to headshot the CEO 3 times. Can you believe it? I didn't even know magic bullets could ricochet that much, honestly.
I know. So, on the way back, home, towards Crucible Bay, the streets themselves, like the highway itself, is somewhat raised. The terrain here is rough and has many heavy dips and dives. As you're driving along this raised part of the highway, you realize, oh shit, there's a military blockade. It's up ahead, and it is, well, either you're going to have to find a way to talk your way through it, or you're going to have to find a long way around, because the terrain around here is difficult, to say the least. But then again, they can see the vehicle approaching. A vehicle turning around on what's supposed to be a one-way road on this side of the highway is going to catch their attention. What do you do?
So, so pros is that in worst case scenario we can probably outrun them, and they don't have the. We're far enough away that if we were to turn around and basically have our driver hit it, I don't think they'd be able to like accurately like leave a description of us. But we would still have to go the other way around.
We might be
Yeah.
able to outrun them. Can we outrun their bullets?
I mean, yeah, this
Too
car's
far
fast.
away.
You
I have
act
an
as if the
idea.
car
Liz.
isn't treated.
Viz, come back here. I will lay you into my lap and say that we are on the way. My wife is pregnant.
Oh my god!
Fuck.
Oh my god! God, that would not work with the Viz, but it's also super funny to think about it attempting.
No, I mean, if we just get like 3 raises, it'll work. It's fine.
So the big question is, I suppose, do we know for certain that the medical blockade, or not medical blockade, they're actually here checking if people are sick because the plague got worse, and that's what the one did. It's that the
That actually
medicine
might be
hasn't
the
been
case.
dispersed.
Hmm.
I don't like how Yumi giggled about that. I do think the best thing to do is do aetheric tattoos exist? We might be able to bullshit our way through it, worst case scenario.
No way
No.
that exists.
No.
No.
That would be like engraving lead into your body. That would be just Cancer City.
Oh my
That being
god,
said,
engraving
then-
lead into myself.
Although
I'm
the
pretty sure they would not be able to tell about our lesser signals on my hands. Given that I am probably a beacon right now, given that I flooded my body with etheric water.
Yeah. Also, there is one group that might be able to do something like that, but that would be the Skrit. And obviously, none of you are a Skrit. So...
Burke might be.
You never know. I am 3 Skrit inside a suit.
The Skrits are rather small. Also, we-
Drowning sense.
Oh, no!
I think our best bet, unironically, is just turn around now.
I think we might be able to make it through, honestly, by talking our way through.
It just
But-
depends on the reason for the blockade. I don't see
Yeah.
any reason.
I
to-
think that if it's the medical stuff, we have a doctor. Otherwise, we were very recently caught in an aether storm, and that might still leave residual stuff on the car.
That's
That
a
is
good
true.
point.
There's also the fact that Lucretia, who's changed her appearance enough that against a normal blockade, which from this distance can Burke tell if it's like a serious one or just sort of like a hey, we were just told to set up here, we're just kind of doing the routine type blockade from this distance. Because
It's not as big as it could be. We'll say that much.
so I think we might be able to get away with it.
How are we having time to discuss this? Have we played over and parked on the side
I
of the road?
imagine.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're happy.
You're-
We're far
Quick
enough.
shopping.
We're far enough away that Lucretia kind of slowed down, which isn't abnormal, considering people see big important vehicles and go, "Oh, I don't want to be caught speeding."
I
Yeah.
also imagine they would be less looking for aether signs of the runaways coming into Crucible Bay than out of Crucible Bay.
True. I think we can. I think we can deal with it. I think that we can go through. In the worst case scenario, the blockade isn't like a super crazy one.
At the very least, this blockade also lets us know the situation in the city.
Exactly.
Yep. Let's see.
Yeah, because there is a second version of the blockade on the other side of the highway for people going out. So it seems to be more of a checkpoint than anything else.
And our story is we're coming from Agaris Village because we thought we had a really rare book to sell. But turns out the Fae already had that, and it's not as rare as we thought. if
I
they
can
ask.
actually say that we were acquiring medical manuscripts too. He gestures up at the symbol on his robe. Caduceus often works with such.
You
Actually,
would
quick
need to
question:
leave one in the
Would
front
Agaris
then.
Village? Would Agaris Village have an expansive public library? Not the Fae's personal books, but people might come there with rare books and still leave behind something from
Oh,
the
absolutely.
library there.
They would
So we
have
can
their
probably say
own, like, normal public library, too.
Yeah, so we probably went there to read some stuff that might not be otherwise publicly available, and that's our excuse. Abaya wanted to see if they had interesting medical manuscripts because he works for that organization. So, as he said, that would make sense. And Agaris Village does have libraries, so that's our backstory.
Alright.
I'm just the driver.
I think we should drive through. Yeah, Lucretia changed her outfit enough that I think it'll succeed like a passing thing.
Let it be known that I believe this is a very, very, very bad idea.
It is
Yeah.
noted.
You all pull up to the military checkpoint. There's a soldier clad in full combat-ready gear, gesturing, be like, "Hey, stop here for a moment." And when you pull up, he approaches the driver's side door. All right, you all. Situation in Crucible Bay has gotten rather bad. I would advise that you turn yourself around and head back wherever you came from. Right now, Crucible fever has been starting to spread more, concerningly so, and we've got terrorist attacks going on.
The terrorist attacks is new, but the Crucible fever is actually why I'm on my way into the city.
The soldier kind of raises an eyebrow and looks to the back seat where you are. Oh,
Roll down a window for him.
A Zoffin doctor. Sorry, sir. Didn't notice you were there.
Yes, I am very obscure. I am invisible.
Well, the situation has become rather bad. There's been an outbreak in the slacks. And as I'm sure you know, Doctor, the road here goes through there. I advise that when you're driving through, keep your windows shut and do not stop. Not until you get to the main city, either way.
Has a triage center been made?
Yes.
Might I
Southwestern.
inquire as to where?
Yes, southwestern end of the slacks.
By a nonce. I will make my way there immediately. Thank you.
Alright, and before you go, I do need to scan you all, just to make sure there's been... We've been told that apparently somebody with a sigil in their hand is wanted. Supposed to put off etheric energy.
That's a bit of a
By
problem
it.
considering the storm that passed through here recently.
From
I
what
can
we...
imagine that if you just scan the front of the car itself, it'll give off quite a bit of etheric energy. There's not really much we can do about that.
From what we've been told, apparently these sigils, they're supposed to be putting off increasing signal the further it goes on. Whatever's going on with them, apparently they're also in danger and could be a danger to everybody else. Let me just make sure. And
Burke, go on.
the guy does start to scan, and he does realize that the traces are rather high across the whole car. You weren't able to pull into any sort of garage back in wherever you came from.
We were caught on the highway between.
Yes.
Ah, shit. Oop. That,
We did park under an awning, but it was not enough.
it was rather a rainy storm. Alright.
I also got the blissful joy of finding out that etheric water flows down the river, as you might imagine. So even before the storm arrived, I got a nice container of it when I was filling up my suit again.
Oh. Oh, you gonna be alright, Doctor?
I am a doctor, yes.
Well, just making sure you don't need any, whatever. Wishing you best
Nothing
of
I
luck.
couldn't handle.
Alright. Yous are finna build different, anyways. Well, sadly can't scan you all, but listen, keep an eye on you all. Trusting you. He pats the roof of the car. You're good to go.
Crucible will just nod and then just smoothly accelerate away.
Alright.
Rolling up all the windows as
You
She
okay,
does.
Raya?
I will be.
See this? We told you it would be alright.
You didn't even have to give our excuse. Because remember, you never give information you don't have to.
You're so anxious.
I imagine Viz, when anxious, its ears like wiggle. They like little spins. Do you think about what do you say or do anything in response to the fact that apparently he's saying that the etheric energy on your sigils is growing?
I mean,
That's something
not
we
openly.
discussed once we're far away.
Yeah, probably. But
So the question is,
you will be able to make your way back into town.
The question is, does that come with an increasing risk of cancer?
It might.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm worried about that
interesting.
for you guys.
More etheric
etheric
energy.
exposure in general is not healthy.
Nope.
As I, demonstrated so helpfully on myself.
So that's not good.
No.
And on the way back, Burke will mention that I think our plans may need to take a bit of a backseat if possible. The outbreak needs to be cured first and foremost if we can help with that.
I am inclined to agree. Plus, I do have a measure of personal investment in this. Might I convince you to redirect to the triage center?
Man, I gotta pick up some crap in that area anyway.
Southwest. You are able to follow various lines and signs down to the triage center. The the slacks, splints. That's an entirely different one. Let me switch the music now that you're in town. Let's do City Center. The slacks
Also, when we
get... go on.
Sorry.
No, you are.
I was about to say, as we're going in, at some point, I do think Burke would suggest we turn on the radio and try to listen for news.
All right. As you're driving through, the slacks themselves are a lot quieter than they normally are. Things have not been going well here. You occasionally see one or two people walking the streets, but normally there's people trying to make do with whatever they got. There's usually like a food cart here. There's a couple people listening to music on a stoop there. There's a lot less of that going on here. You, as you start to head towards the triage center, you tune into the news. And what you get is information that apparently there is a wanted individual that people are looking for that has been causing havoc for some gate personnel and, in quote-unquote, has caused chaos downtown. They describe this individual as heavily built, possibly a Trescal, clad in flowing black robes, wearing a simple featureless white mask with just two glowing eyes. They classify this figure as the Etheric Reaper, a figure that has, and as far as you can tell, has pulled attention away from you guys. Listening to the news, attention has been focused on this Reaper, rather than hunting for you guys or for Lucretia or anything like that.
This is great news and all, but really, did he have to choose an outfit so close to mine?
To be
I'm
fair,
gonna get pulled over.
To be fair, the eyes were glowing red, and he's about twice as white as you are.
And also, he
Yeah,
can
you-
this on you, so.
I mean, yeah, but just imagine they're gonna pull over by and be like, damn, the Reaper looks a lot shorter in person.
Oh,
And also
God.
more Ian-like. Weird.
We'll say it's a black mask, then. Just to give that appearance of just two glowing eyes under a hood. It's very melodramatic.
Would Burke know if, in general, Honoris just really likes being dramatic?
Oh, yes, 100%. The guy...
I mean, you hardly had to ask.
Blabbermouth? Yeah, as much of a blabbermouth as he is, yeah, no, he's that.
Okay, there's a difference between just really liking yapping and then just being overly dramatic.
Well,
No,
they-
he was
I-
100% a theater kid. With the
Yeah.
exaggerated, it's because of the burns and all that.
For Chad, they will not shut up about it. They bring it up like every conversation we're in a group together. It's insane.
It's all we really know about you. Is that underneath there you look like Deadpool?
Now,
uh,
But yes, this is absolutely onerous. Onerous has become quite a distraction, which has turned the general populace, and more specifically the news cycle, away from you all, and has been more focusing on the protests and, of course, the Etheric Reaper.
Edgy bastard.
There's already people talking about making a feature film about him.
what? No way.
Yep. They haven't caught the guy yet, but they want to catch him.
he's gonna get away
Physically
scot-free.
accurate enemies.
He's gonna get away scot-free, and then he's going to play his own role when no one notices.
Onerous would. Either way, The triage station is packed. They've taken over a half-abandoned warehouse that part of the roof had been crumbling in. They've cleared out any of the rubble and have been using what remains of the structure as a makeshift triage. There's a line leading outside of the place. This is, bad. The situation wasn't nearly as bad when you left.
Burke doesn't have much experience, but he does have, thanks to Abaya, some immunology training that he can use to provide assistance for whatever Abaya plans to do.
Well, not only that, but you've also firsthand seen how Abaya cured it, so...
Yep.
Yeah.
Abaya. Considering that it has only been a few days, and things have become this bad, do you think that your targets may be nearby?
No. Not directly, at least. This, he says, gesturing at the long line, is not even remotely close to the destruction it wreaks. When the mountain begins to degrade and erode, when oil pours out of every rock and begins to seep itself into the ground, leaving where nothing can grow for months, years at a time, then you'll know it has arrived. And so said, Abaya walks into the triage center.
Well, that's fucking dramatic.
Pretty accurate.
Okay, new plan. We learn how to activate the Oldor super weapon to try and hit the Fae with it, with everything. Get it functioning for one last shot just to take out that thing, because that's honestly horrifying to think about. Which also makes me, wonder a few things that I'm going to poke Yumi about, some of Burke's possible connections. Because of, some of the things she said. Stretchies. But yeah, so Burke will follow Baya behind and, just kind of keep an eye out, I guess, just at how bad things are.
Lucretia, this is also a very unique request, but you are a courier. Could you bring us some cocaine?
Fucking fine, I guess.
This is gonna stay with Lucretia, I think.
Alright. Well,
She knows where to get some of that stuff.
Yep.
To the hotel.
When they come back, Viz's faceplate is just covered in white powder. I am simply making sure to immunize myself.
So, the triage center itself is packed. There's a variety of nurses and doctors working on trying to take care of everybody inside of the station. And you recognize a decent handful of them. A lot of them are from the same clinic that you were originally volunteering at, Abaya. But some of them have come from different areas. You also notice Othello working in the back end. He's set up a couple of various devices to try to brew more of the various meds. There's also a very suspicious-looking man standing next to him, probably a drug dealer.
Oh yeah, he's probably making bank off of this.
Oh, 100%.
And he gets the moral high ground for it too.
It's
I
true.
know, right?
This is perhaps the most humanitarian drug deal he's ever done.
Yep.
Genuinely, he's usually I feel a little bit of guilt, but this time I'm doing it for good. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not sure how I feel about this, but hey, guilt-free.
Either way,
And,
the moment he spies Othello, he's going to be heading that direction.
Othello
Yeah,
even gets a
Burke will
bulk
follow.
discount. He's just been having to buy that much. You two head up to Othello as he's working on getting more of the meds worked, like brewed up. Also, this ambiance is not doing me any good. You know what? Let's try
It's
this.
very ominous.
It is extremely ominous.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
Oh my god. Othello looks over. He's got a face mask over his snout and a little bit of sweat dripping off his brow. It's rather warm inside of this place. Huh? Oh, good to see you. How's it? You've been away for a few days, haven't you?
I have. It has been an adventure.
Othello nods.
There's open teeth marks, like, on his suit, like, over his collarbone, where that raptor like, eviscerated him before.
Othello nods, then notices that. Did you piss off a dog? Are you alright?
Usual
no.
hands.
I found out that they are not to be trifled with.
Well, I appreciate you coming here. If you're able to get us any more supplies, that would be useful. Or at least somebody to help take care of everybody here. I don't know what in the world caused it, but there's been an outbreak in the past about day or so. People have been getting sick rapidly. And it's all been focused on the slacks in the northern part of North Side.
They were the most vulnerable to begin with. And this is a place where more disease can be unleashed, while still remaining obfuscated.
Well, yes, of course,
You mean-
but
I'm sorry, are you suggesting that Sungate is weaponizing the fever right now?
Not
That was my
necessarily.
not necessarily.
Remember, the slacks is just in general the poor section.
Yeah.
I
And
know.
to that, if anyone did
Well-
want to spread it on purpose, it would be here, but it's not
Yeah.
necessarily Sungate.
Abaya also knows exactly who he thinks would be unleashing this. So.
Mm-hmm.
Burke will just kind of step up and say, apologies, doctors, but if there's anything I can do, you've seen my training, and while, again, I can only be of assistance, anything I can do to help in the correct moment, just let me know.
Yes, if you can get over there and help with some of the nurses that are brewing up more of the meds. Just follow what they need you to do. It shouldn't be too difficult.
I can
And
also
Burke,
help production myself. It is my creation, after all.
Indeed.
it might also be more beneficial for you to go talk to the patients and figure out how this outbreak started. We can focus on treating the effects of it, but if we can find the source, that's more likely to be of help.
We've been trying to find that for a while now. Haven't had any real luck. There's just been people saying that they've gotten sick rapidly after coming just home. Just usually off the street. I can't seem to find any sort of cohesive connection between it all.
Those that were spontaneously sickened, are they being set aside from those that have had Crucible fever for some time?
Yes. Othello points over to the main body of the warehouse where many cots have been set up with various patients. The ones on the left side, they're the ones that have been more spontaneous, the ones in the last few days. The ones on the right side are the ones that have had longer cases. And you notice that the left side is much larger than the right.
Well, yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, during this time, Bert's gonna go, help with the medication, and just kind of help craft some while Abaya does his thing.
All right.
Before Abaya heads over to the left side, Burke would see, and Viz would see, him open his medical bag.
Well, Viz isn't here.
If this is with Lucretia.
Oh, I thought that Viz was coming in with us. Burke would see as Abaya opens his medical bag, and then there's a soft click from inside as he's reaching down. And he withdraws what looks to be a small jar with a white mask floating inside. The key will close up and head to the left with
All right. You walk amongst the various cots. These, eh, every single cot seems to be full of some sick individual, and then there's a line waiting for empty space for those to be that need to be treated. Who do you first ask? Could be anybody, really.
Uh, Abaya doesn't really have anybody in mind, so he's just going to pick one needs to be treated at random.
All right.
He's going to not only help to treat the disease while he's there, but he's also going to ask them A, where it was that they lived, see if they all kind of lived in more or less the same area. B, whether or not they saw the figure that he knew about, that being the half-rotted Mirrodin. Or C, if they saw this symbol, that being the white mask, anywhere at all, like in some kind of jewelry, anything like that may have been left behind in the house.
So, from talking to the various groups, and you'll spend a while doing this to give enough time for Lucretia to come back, you would find that genuinely everybody here seems to be from the northern end of North Side, and the Slacks. The person that comes from the furthest south isn't much further past your clinic. But when it comes to actually sightings, now there has been a few sightings of the symbol of the mask. Apparently there has been appearances of it in strange ways. One person found it burnt on the side of their house. A day later, all 15 people inside got sick. Another.
Jesus Christ, how big is your family?
It's a big family. They don't have much space. In fact, there's 2 families in there, as the guy will explain. Another house ended up finding it carved into the pavement outside of the building. The family of 8 inside also got sick very quickly after. However, you would find various marks of the mask. But apart from the mask itself being etched or burnt or marked onto things in very strange ways, you would only encounter one person that actually encountered the figure. It would take you about... This would be probably past the 20th or something, a person that you talk to. This older scrit with graying fur and already showing signs of some necrosis of the extremities is laying on her side, coughing up a storm. But when you bring up the figure, she mentions it. About 3 days ago, I saw it. It wasn't too far away from the river. I was fishing, trying to find some food for my family. They approached me. I didn't know what to do. This creature, whatever it was so clad in these tangled robes. It offered me a gift. It said that it would help my family. Of course I accepted it. It just placed its finger on my forehead and then walked away. I thought it was a madman and continued going, but now everybody's sick. Most of my family is already gone. The situation for this particular individual has been particularly bad. She comes from a family of 6. Herself, her husband, her brother, and 3 children. Right now, only one of her children is still alive, and herself, out of the 6. Despite the fact that she was the first one that encountered this figure, she is still alive. And apart from the necrosis at the ends of her extremities, it doesn't seem like her case is getting worse. It's just staying.
Is your child also here for treatment?
Yes. She's 2 cots down.
Very well. You in particular, I am going to have to ask to separate from the rest. We need to put you into a special layer of quarantine.
Oh, God, no. Oh, really? Oh, jeez, am I gonna be alright, Doc? I've already lost so much. Just...
The reason that you are remaining stagnant, I fear, is because you are being used as a carrier for this particular strain.
Oh. Oh, no.
Do not worry, we still intend to cure it and flush this disease from you. But obviously having you still mixed in with the rest of those coming in that are freshly exposed will only worsen them.
She nods. Okay. Please look after my daughter.
Do not worry, that is my next stop.
I've already lost her brothers, so... Thank you, Doctor. Her daughter is in a rough state. She is on a ventilator, and the machine itself is working to basically keep her breathing. Thankfully, there hasn't been much signs of necrosis. If she is cured, she should be able to keep most of her fingers. But, yeah, she's not in good state. Without treatment, you'd give her maybe 12 hours.
Well, that is going to be a biased focus, not only because, well, she's obviously in need, but because she has been exposed to somebody that he considers to probably be one of the vectors for this outbreak.
Mm-hmm. Thankfully, because you have basically the cure for this, roll me an immunology. I'm gonna say this is at a -4. Oh, you might.
I'm going to use a Benny on that.
Yeah, use a Benny. It's at a -4.
Use another one.
Yeah. There we go. You spend some time working on the poor girl. And she's in a rough state. You need to create a various...
While he's working on her, by the way, he's
Uh-huh.
also going to take a culture of her version of the Crucible fever.
Okay. It takes a variety of various treatments to stabilize her sickness, but after about another half hour of work, you do get her into a state where you think she should be able to stabilize and recover. It's going to be difficult, but she has a better chance now. At this point in time, Lucretia, Viz, you would have returned back.
To the hotel. Yeah, Lucretia's gonna park in the back, probably in some, little loading dock they have back there.
Yeah.
And is gonna make her way downstairs to the speakeasy.
Alright.
And look around for the boss man.
He is not in the speakeasy at the moment. Although looking around, the barkeep would ask, Lucretia, who are you looking for?
The boss.
Ah, he's currently doing some business downtown. What do you need?
Well, a brick or two of cocaine.
Of the lean.
Lear.
Hey, the leer. Yeah.
Did you say lean?
Lean.
Oh,
God. Listen,
Lear.
it's the same amount of letters. Really? I didn't take you as much of a dealer or user sort. But
It's not for selling, it's for donating to this giant fucking outbreak. Because if it spreads more, we're all gonna get it.
you know, that's probably a fair point.
So,
Yeah.
lose a bit of cash here, protect our asses later.
The barkeep nods, and he steps away from the bar to a side door. And he ends up stepping into the side door for a little bit before coming out with 2 bricks of this blue vibrant powder, packed tightly under plastic wrap. He hands them over to you and gives you a nod.
Wait,
You
thanks.
don't go catching it out there, would you?
Don't plan to.
Good. And you are able to
So-
step back out again.
Yeah, she'll stuff them into like a spare duffel bag that's probably laying around.
Oh yeah, plenty
Take
of
it
those.
back out to the car.
All right. And you're able to drive back in the time that was covered. So
Yeah.
you come back and you're able to deliver it to Othello. What do you say?
Consider this a donation. And she'll just hand over the duffel bag.
I'm not going to
And
ask where it
walk
came.
back to the car.
I'm not going to ask where it came from, but still, appreciate it.
Yeah.
You've saved some lives here. And
Crucible.
Hmm.
Ooh. Viz. Make a notice check.
A notice check.
Yes.
Fascinating. Oh, God
Never
damn it.
mind.
you do have bennies for this little mini
I
session.
Oh, you could.
I do have bennies. You know what? Fuck it. I'll use a benny. Why not? 8.
There you go.
You notice as Lucretia looks around, whenever she spots a kid, she looks a bit sorrowful almost. Before quickly, like, putting her mask back up. Back to her just tough persona.
There's a lot of ways to interpret this.
Mhm.
She has feelings.
Yeah, it's just a quick little
I believe she
flash.
does.
A sorrowful
Oh.
look.
Yeah. Just a little flash. But it's something.
Yeah. Okay. And as you're out, Lucretia, I assume you're probably the only one out of the car at this time.
Yeah.
You, as you're stepping outside to the car, probably, I don't know, another cigarette.
Yep.
You notice, you actually get a ring on your phone, a text message.
Ooh.
You don't recognize the you don't recognize the number. In fact, it just says unknown number. But it says, 8 p.m. Meet me at. Give me a moment to decide where you're going to meet this individual. Meet me at the wall. And you would assume this is the Wall Bar and Grill. It's a rather popular bar for various you've been there a good handful of times. Bounty hunters, travelers, general fighters, adventurers, that sort of thing. That sort of people tend to go to the wall. This is important. Be there. 8 p.m. You have no idea who this number is.
Lucretia will quickly put it back in her pocket, continue walking to the car while lighting her cigarette. Pull open the door for to look at Viz. Viz. Do you have a way to trace a number?
Not easily. Mercy might, however.
Alright.
I will allow you to attempt to do so. I will
Oh.
require a hacking at -5, I'm going to say. But you can attempt.
I do not have the current equipment to make it easy. However, I can make an attempt regardless. If this does not work, we can bring it up at the visit with Mercy.
Give it a shot.
So you said hacking?
Hacking.
-5?
-5.
Alright. Yeah.
That's a 5.
Yeah, no. I mean, come on. It's a -5 out of a D8. I would have to have it I would need for it to explode.
Yeah.
I guess I could try another Benny.
Yeah.
You could.
Up to
but
you.
It's exactly the same.
Literally.
Wow. Wow.
God, that's always really frustrating.
It's like, no, you take your role and you fucking like it.
Maybe like 5 minutes or so. Before Biz just kind of like hands the phone back and shakes its head.
Worth a shot. Lucretia will then just shut the car door and, like, kind of sit on the hood waiting for Burke and Abaya.
Shutting the door. I imagine that Biz probably wasn't prepared for the door to be shut in its face. And probably like, oh, I'll just close the door myself. And it's, oh, crunch.
There's just a lot of metallic.
Alright,
Well,
Viz,
if you were in the passenger
Viz
seat,
take 2
she-
wounds.
Yeah. I mean, Lucretia would have leaned in through the driver's side, and you'd be the passenger.
Okay. Gotcha.
So-
Alright. Alright, never mind. I got you then.
But okay. Because this is supposed to be a little mini session, I am probably going to call it here for now. So, as you guys spend some
We
time...
tricked you into a full session.
Oh,
That
God.
wasn't the
Tying you down.
intention.
Tying you
Frick.
down.
But yes, I suppose.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
suppose.
As you all spend some time tending to the triage center. But now, a little bit of Lucretia's story is finally cropping up.
We have too many people that we need to talk to.
Yep.
Frick.
Yumi's like, listen, if you keep going, I'm not gonna have anything for actual session day.
No, I mean that is valid.
Yeah.
And Abaya is going to be adding another request on top of things now.
Oh God.
Also, so on the side, I've been kind of messing around with stuff on my new computer, and I realized that I need to plug in my stuff instead of into the motherboard, just into the graphics card directly. So Bannerlord, instead of having 14 frames per second, now has a average of like 250 frames per second. I'm like, wow, that's an improvement.
Well, yeah, that would
That's
solve
a
your
real
issue.
deal. That was. I'm not even maxing out my GP anymore. Holy shit!
Holy
Turns
fuck.
out I was using the integrated graphics.
Yeah, that'll
Are
do
you
it.
Well, there's your
fucking
fucking
kidding
problem.
me? How many years have you been using the integrated graphics?
Well, I mean, not this many years. I used the last one, but I always plugged it into my motherboard. But apparently plugging it into the GPU just fixes the problem with what it chooses to use first. Which means I
Really?
can play... I didn't know that, okay? I just made it
Oh.
work.
Oh my God.
Oh,
You
goodness.
okay, right?
No, I just took massive psychic damage from this.
Could I have given you a fucking tutorial when I finished your PC?
I mean, probably. It's like but you know, it was late. It's fine. I figured it out. Okay. I only realized the problem when I was like, huh, Warframe is maxing at my GPU. That doesn't sound right. Oh, that's why.
What did you do? You're using the onboard graphics this entire time?
Rather than the really nice high-end GPU.
How did you even manage
Oh my
that?
Lord.
I just plugged it into my. There was
It's-
a display thing on the motherboard. I plugged it in there.
It is a very common mistake for newbies to make this.
Yeah.
Listen, I wasn't using
I
it
was
on my
like-
old computer. I don't know why it did this. It did on this one. Frickin'.
Yeah, I mean, you should be getting better performance from a 9060 XT.
Yeah, I was wondering that. I was being worse. I'm like, what did I do? You, Ryan, calm down. Okay, it's fine. I promise.
Oh.
Either way, creatures. This is where we're going to call this little mini session.
Oh. Too many things going on now.
Too many things.
This started as like, oh yes, let's go with a nice, singular, linear plan, with some maybe like some people to talk to so that we can get a better grasp of the scope of things. Now there's 17 things that we need to do at once.
Yep.
The whole
And
play.
we are only complicating it more.
And you still got to do that heist. And before I go, Abaya, you would have a chance to actually properly scan your hand, while you would still have the effect of the etheric energy going on in the water, just traces. You would be able to tell that the amount of etheric energy has increased. It's still very minor, but
But there's no sign it will remain that way for long.
exactly.
Oh,
So-
Why is it getting worse?
Yeah, right.
So, by doing the heist, you should be able to figure out where it came from.
I wonder if I can make my two cancers fight inside me. I will be the arena. We will see which one comes out on top.
Oh God.
Also, Rennie said,
Yeah.
Viz, you're on
Switching
integrated
ra-
graphics now.
Switching
No.
Ryan's character to switching Viz to integrated graphics. Oh my gosh.
I mean, technically, with how the synthetics work, it is some form of integrated graphics. I don't know. Fuck
Oh my
you.
god! Installing RX 9060s as Viz's tits.
Oh fuck you.
God.
I don't think SLI
Imagine
has
Viz-
been a thing in ages.
They're
Uh,
not.
Imagine-
SLI is definitely not a thing, no.
Imagine Viz though just have to, just in a bra that's very poorly strapped over two graphics cards. Do you like my graphics processors?
Also, SLI would be the NVIDIA version. For this one, it would be Crossfire.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Anyways, creatures, we're going to call the stream here. Thank you all for coming. And next time, the story
Dragon
will
Ball.
continue. Yes. Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
On our actual scheduled day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will see you
Well,
all
we
then.
just kind of had to do this for Yumi.
You guys have a
Bye-bye.
lot of
We
plans.
we have changed Yumi's plans considerably.
Yes.
We are
Listen,
ambitious.
she changed. I feel it's fair. She changed my character plans a whole bunch with that intro, so now I'm changing hers. Fair's fair.
You still got to do the heist. You still got to follow the story. But
We're
you could have your
trying.
other
What do you want?
plans.
We're going to.
Yeah.
That's the plan. That's the end goal of all of this.
I know.
You
I
threw
know.
a plague on us. Frick you.
Yeah, we have to deal with a plague. We have to deal with personal story stuff.
Oh,
We
listen,
want to
it-
do the
you're-
heist.
Listen, Yumi, you're just glad.
It's
Just
not
be
just
glad
a
we're
plague
mo-
anymore.
Yeah, just be
It's
glad
worse.
that we're a moral party. Otherwise, we could get into the building by simply making sure to infect everyone who works security there.
Oh my god.
Then we'd be able to get in just fine.
Oh, the carrier would be so proud of you. Anyways, take care, creatures. I'm going to end the stream
Bye-bye.
here. Have a good one, Twitch, and I
Bye-bye.
will get the VOD up soon. Bye.